Wow, what a day it is. And away we go. I just gave away a Porsche. Did you tune in? I just gave away a Porsche. Did you catch it? Well, that's the problem when there's no audio. There was a free giveaway, and so sorry about that. So let's cut back to the exciting, great news. Besides that new winner of that wonderful car, congratulations. If you don't know if you won, well, sorry. The exciting, great news across the board is that Senate Democrats and House Democrats both want to give you that monthly stimulus check. And those senators have a different time frame. The senators want to give it to you till December. The House members want to give it to you for the current pandemic plus 1 year, longer time frame. Who is supporting the bill? Well, the senators are more centralists. And they're more movers and shakers. They're people who really control the microcosm of the Senate operation. The House members are progressives. They are more outer wing fringe Democrats, but they're a larger group. There are over 100 members of them. What are the economics of the situation? Well, the House members want to pay you $2,000 for the first month, $1,000 every month thereafter. The senators don't give you the amount for the monthly payment, but we do have the calculations. The stimulus is going to be very good, except for that winner that just won the Porsche. If you don't know if you won, I'm so sorry. There was no audio, so if you don't know if you won the Porsche, you'll have to read my lips, I guess, even though you couldn't see my lips. So that's the wonderful nature of a giveaway when you can't see my lips and you have no audio. Read my lips. Where? Here is the calculation for forced stimulus. The calculation for forced stimulus that the Democrats want to give you in the Senate is it's a 6-month run, 7-month run, 5-month run. The word on the street says they want to give you $2,000 a month or $1,400 a month, which would equate to $8,400 or $12,000. So who qualifies for the stimulus? Who qualifies for that Porsche that was given away early in this video? It was you. Yeah, congratulations to you. You know you won. And where do you claim it? I said earlier in the video where the keys are. So if you didn't catch where I put the keys, you have to replay it. Forced stimulus. Who gets it? $75,000 a single individual or $150,000 married couple. The household is family of 4. And if you're on SSI and SSDI, Social Security railroad benefits, this is you. Mark just says, I'd rather take the Porsche than the stimulus checks. I love that. Drop in the comments if you'd rather take the Porsche versus the stimulus check. I feel this is like, Monty Hall. What's behind curtain number 1? Will you take curtain number 1 or you take the multiple stimulus checks? What's important to know is that this week is going to be filled with good data, but will there be bad data? Well, coming up this week, we're going to have the CPI released, and it's already predicted to be very strong. Last week, we had the PPI released, the Producer Price Index, highest number in 10 years. And the jobs numbers released a week before, really through the roof. So we have very strong economic numbers on one side that don't help stimulus. Remember, good economic data doesn't help stimulus. And you want to ensure that the news out there is not just good, but also bad. Not just now, but when the bill gets to the Senate. So what was the bad economic news this week? Bad UI. New unemployment claims, really a horrible number, increased. It grew 50,000. The continuing unemployment claims stayed at 4 million. And also small business closures, the worst number since May of last year. 22% of businesses closed last month, and that's small, medium-sized businesses. Thank you, Canoe, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. And breaking today, really, this is I can just sense tomorrow's press conference is going to be about this graphic and only this graphic. What does this graphic say? The president is not going to make his delivery of vaccine doses this week. Next week, or this coming week, Johnson & Johnson, which is a real core of the president's rollout of vaccines, will only be able to deliver 700,000 doses to American citizens. Last American residents. Last week, it was able to deliver 5 million. What's the cause? That Baltimore fiasco. And if you saw the press conferences all last week, the press secretary was not very responsive to this line of questioning. She said it was not going to be an issue. Oh, it is going to be an issue. Let's look at these numbers. If these are your states, God bless you. I mean, this is going to be real trouble. New York, there's going to be 89% less doses available this week than the week before. California, 89% less doses. Thank you, Scott, for the dancing lemon or lime. It's a lemon or a lime. A drop in the comment. Is that a lemon or a lime? Florida is going to see 89% drop. Across the board, it's going to be really bad. The Dow futures relatively flat. The NASDAQ futures relatively flat. So this is what you need to know as we enter the new day, new week, about that forced stimulus. Can you read my lips? Now you can. Forced stimulus has really got a lot of incorrect news reports. The broadcasting of forced stimulus is so wrong and so inaccurate, it deeply worries me. I've always told you don't listen anywhere else, but I mean, now is really a time you absolutely cannot listen anywhere else. Why? People are saying things like, I think they'll get to forced stimulus in September. What do you mean they'll get to forced stimulus in September? If they get to forced stimulus in September, you're never getting a stimulus check because the economy will be rebounded in September. They're not getting, first of all, that's not what's happening. And second of all, if it did happen, you would never get a stimulus check. Second, Speaker Pelosi and Leader Schumer says the vote's in July. They're not going to get to September. Number three, people are saying things like, so you're definitely going to get $2,000. No, you're not definitely going to get anything. There's a whole push underway to get this done, and we're going to go over that push in just a second. Third, people are saying things like, everyone wants to do this House proposal, and this is what's happening, this House proposal. You and I understand that House proposal. The House proposal is never going to see a light of day because the time frame of the stimulus check is too far out in the future. And the House proposal is a standalone bill. I mean, the standalone bill is not part of the fourth stimulus package. The fourth stimulus package is the infrastructure bill. The president this week will go one more week to try to get bipartisan support, of which you don't want him to have. I'll go over that in a second. And when he doesn't, the week, at the end of this week or the start of the following week will be when the reconciliation process starts. The bill will start with the president giving it to Speaker Pelosi. It will have three provisions in there. It will have in there infrastructure, climate, and taxes. It won't have a stimulus check in there. There won't be any drafting of stimulus checks. People have been saying things like they're putting the stimulus checks coming from the no. Let's recap. It's very important for you to understand where things are. Those House progressives introduced a standalone bill. Here she is. And they introduced that standalone bill a few weeks ago, March 23rd. It's a standalone bill. What does alone mean? It means alone. It means only you. It means you with no audio. It means you and no one can hear you. It means you're in a corner and everyone's like, turn on the audio, Ellie. That's what alone means. Stand alone bill means you're not with the president. You're alone. You're by yourself. So people have been referring to that graphic you just saw as part of the fourth stimulus package. It's not. It's just not. So when would the stimulus checks get in there? Very, very easy breezy. Let's recap. First, the president's going to give to Speaker Pelosi his proposal and tell her, okay, away we go. And she and Leader Schumer are going to say, recon. It's not going to happen Monday. It's not going to happen Tuesday. It's probably going to happen about a week from now because he's going to make one last round to try to get the Republicans on board, which is not going to work. And then they're going to go recon. And at that point, Speaker Pelosi will introduce a bill that's just to do the reconciliation agreement. To the House, they'll agree. To the Senate, they'll agree. And the president will sign it. That's the tow truck. To agree, we're going to do a reconciliation. Not the substance, just the procedural. The tow truck will have passed over the finish line at that point. Then they go back and they do the substance, the tow hitch. And at the tow hitch, then they decide what's in there. So when they do the tow hitch in the House, could the House members put that stimulus check in there? Yes, they could. They don't have to. It would really be helpful if they did, but they don't have to. It's at that point that those progressives, 100 plus, could put in there anything they want about stimulus checks. They could put in any calculations they want, and they could start that push right there. Remember what the House members wanted. They wanted it for pandemic plus 1 year. Senators don't want it that long. So the House would approve whatever they do, and then off it goes to the Senate. The Senate will then do their own devise. And what are the senators going to do? They're going to do a vote-a-rama. For 2 days, they're going to vote on amendments to the fourth stimulus package. And at that point, they will put in there what they think belongs. And currently, what they think belongs is something along the lines of something like this, or something like this. It basically is a payment process of monthly to the end of this year of some calculation duration per month, which is likely $1,400 to $2,000. This is you. This is the biggest payout you have seen for a single individual since we've seen this. This is absolutely where it goes. If it's $2,000 a month, then it's $12,000. If it's $1,400, then it's $8,400. It's important to understand that no one is clairvoyant, no one can predict the future, and no one can predict how point A goes to point B. But the path of this is very clear and finite. 21 of 50 Democratic senators want to get it done. They are the microcosm that make modifications, and no one knows anything until it finally happens. And what have they done before? During the vote-a-rama of the third stimulus package, people didn't know what was going to happen. And what did they put in there? They put in $10,000, $10,200 of your unemployment tax-free for 2020. No one saw that ahead of time. No one really saw that to the minute it happened. And we said, what? What just happened? $10,200 tax-free? Where did that happen? I didn't hear that coming. This is why you can't be clairvoyant in this situation. You absolutely have no idea when something's happening. How about FPUC? It was $400 a week until it got to the Senate. It was changed to $300 a week. What about student loan debt forgiveness not taxable? What? Excuse me? Now, this is a very clear example of how senators plot things out. Someone in one of the comments, who I think I'm going to put in timeout right now. There we go. Someone who dropped in the comments says, senators are not going to do this. How do you know? You don't know. You don't know. What happened in the senators when the third stimulus package got there is that certain leading senators had plotted out that if we do student loan debt forgiveness, we want it tax-free. No one had been talking about this before the bill got to the Senate. Guess what? This was plotted out. It was plotted out by Schumer, and it was plotted out by Edwards, and it was plotted out by just a small handful of senators. They called it for a vote, and they got it done quickly and fast. And so student loan debt forgiveness is now tax-free if it's done by executive order. And that's what will happen with forced stimulus as well. They've plotted out this path to get those monthly stimulus checks in there. Whether it's Ron Wyden or whether it's Bernie Sanders, these are people who have been meeting with Schumer around the clock for the provisions they're going to put in the fourth stimulus package. It's a little bit unusual to understand how this administration operates a little bit different than the things we've seen before. This president will devise a draft of the bill and present it to Pelosi. But Leader Schumer has his own agendas and wants to put things in there that the president may not have devised for. And with that, so will other Democrats want to put things in the fourth stimulus package that you don't see going into that 11th hour. Will the president veto it? No. So long as climate and infrastructure and the taxes are in there, then away we go. New video was released by the White House on Friday that details how important it is to get infrastructure and all the provisions at hand to the finish line. Let's listen in to this new video released from the White House on Friday.
Great broadband infrastructure and a grid for the 21st century. I'm Pete Buttigieg, I'm Secretary of Transportation.
My name is Jennifer Granholm, and I am the Secretary of the Department of Energy.
My name is Marty Walsh, and I'm the Secretary of Labor.
Hi, I'm Gina Raimondo, and I'm the Secretary of Commerce.
My name is Marcia Fudge. I am the 18th Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. My favorite part about the American Jobs Plan is the fact that we see people where they are, and we are going to make a difference in their lives, whether it be housing, whether it be education, creating jobs, building 2 million new homes. It is all of it. I'm happy about all of it.
I have two favorite parts. Can I have two favorite parts? I love that President Biden is prioritizing creating more decent paying manufacturing jobs for Americans. The second thing I love about the plan is the emphasis on the care economy. There are so many women of color in particular, working hard every day for low pay, taking care of our loved ones. And they deserve raises, they deserve dignity, and this plan invests in them.
The American Jobs Plan is an incredible plan. There's several great parts of it. The $400 billion investment in the cares economy, the investments all across the board in the American worker, doubling apprentice programs. I think that's something that's going to be really important as well for building back better, but also strengthening our economy and growing the middle class.
All across the country, we're going to have better roads, better bridges, and better jobs. We don't just need roads, bridges, ports, airports. We also need great broadband infrastructure and a grid for the 21st century. I can't wait to see these resources go out to communities where people know that we need to be doing better on our infrastructure.
The thing I am most excited about for the American Jobs Plan is that it's going to create millions of clean energy jobs for Americans using products that are made in America. That's what I'm excited about.
So meantime, what happened in this last week was the following. A series of good data came out and more bad data came out as well. We saw that the job creation numbers in this country continue to surge. 1 million jobs are being created a month currently in this economy, when 8 million are missing. But Wall Street analysts believe that 2 million jobs will be created this month. That means that the full job restoration could be around the corner in 4 months. The PPI number came in on Friday. It was the highest growth in over a decade. And the CPI number's coming this week. And that number could be through the roof. But we also had bad data this week. The bad economic data, which ultimately helps your stimulus, came from unemployment numbers. Unemployment numbers were very poor. How bad were they? Well, it showed that we came in at new claims of 744,000. Wall Street was looking for 694. We were 50,000 worse. In fact, we were worse than the week before. Then we saw the continuing jobless claims stayed stagnant at 3.73 million. This is not a particularly good number. And states like California and New York, the numbers will continue to grow. These are new people who are newly on unemployment. Alabama and Ohio were among those states that had improvements for unemployment. So with a mixture of good news and bad news, how do you take this? Well, ultimately, you have to fear good news. As some viewers have been dropping in the comments right now, the fear is not the bad news. The fear is that the good news overwhelms the bad news before the bill gets to a vote. Tom Gimbel said yesterday, this economy isn't coming back, it's back. He also then said, I'll tell you, this is the most optimistic job market I've seen in ages. And he said that of Jamie Dimon, who's head of JP Morgan Chase, right now this economy is going to be on steroids for the rest of the year and to next year. And this is as senators and House members try to figure out where and when they put those stimulus checks in the bill. I'll have more about this in a second, but coming up first is a little bit about the community page. It's important for you to understand that as we go into April, there's a lot of money available for you right now under third stimulus. Rent, utilities are available from your city, county, and state under third stimulus. Your city and county and state all have different guidelines. One could be more strict than another. Then, for purposes of property owners, mortgage assistance, both private and public mortgages. Thank you, Canoe, for another dancing pair. I really appreciate it. Property owners can get mortgage assistance, whether it's Fannie or Freddie Mae or privately held mortgages like Chase. Also, utility assistance. And again, that's city, county, and state. Then the other big exciting news is that the EIDL remainder of your $10,000 grant is getting paid out this coming week. If you did not catch that morning's LA, catch that video now. And also what's happening is that the other monies from third stimulus are about to hit as well. The Shuttered Venue grant went live on Friday and crashed. Sort of like my audio, crashed, and will likely come online on Monday again. It's not just for venues. It's also potentially for you. The PPP grant has now been extended, so get that. And the EIDL loan increase is now underway as well. I'll have more about all this and your multiple stimulus checks coming up right after this commercial break. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Noontime LALATE with a big recording with a lot of details across the board. I'm so excited for you to join me. And if you have questions or comments, drop in the comments right now. I'm in the live chat and seeing your interactivity. How are you? If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. It's our 1 year anniversary. It's our birthday month this month. So give us a subscribe. You want to be part of this family and not miss a recording across the board. Boy, this morning's broadcast, the 2 morning shows had a lot of details. So if you did not watch those 2 morning shows today, go watch them. The first one was on the reoccurring stimulus checks, and the second one was on the $50,000 of student loan debt forgiveness. Also, like this video, if you're not become a member, consider becoming a member. Let me give you the recap before I proceed to what else is going on this afternoon. First, third stimulus checks. If you've not gotten it and you're a veteran, congratulations. You're likely to get this Wednesday. Another round of stimulus checks went out on Friday, and these are for veterans, and those deposits will be available on Wednesday. The 14th, if you go to the IRS tool, it may show your deposit pending. If it doesn't, don't worry. It may still be pending. For paper check people that are mail checks, they're still coming. They're about 10 to 14 days late. So add 14 days to the date that you see on the IRS tool. Finally, if you have no information, you're going to have to request that missing stimulus check. That's number 1. Number 2, for EIDL 2020 applicants, congratulations. The 2020 applicants are getting the remainder of their $10,000 grant. In no particular order. I'll have more about this on Afternoons LA. It's an exclusive you're only going to hear on this channel, but they are paying that $10,000 grant now this week, right away. And while I respect a lot of people's other reporting, it's not accurate. I'm going to tell you why it's not accurate about what's going on. I have inside information on this one. And finally, the surprise and the exclusive you're only hearing on this channel is that I'm reporting that the president's likely to forgive $50,000 of student loan debt this Thursday. An announcement on the eve of a memo due from his education secretary on Friday about forgiving that debt across the board. Automatic, don't have to do anything for that one. So congratulations, what a big day here we are. Let me give you the recap of what's important for purposes of forced stimulus. This coming week, you're going to see the president continue his push for what he's talking about as bipartisanship of doing forced stimulus. But it's not going to happen. The bill has 3 parts in it. The first part, infrastructure. No problem there. Second part, climate. Oh, stop it right there. Stop at the word climate, because the Republicans have said, if there's 1 penny for climate in there, we're not doing the bill. Dead on arrival. The president's on responses, you can't do nothing, you have to do something. The Republicans say, no, we're going to do nothing for climate. You put climate in there, we're not doing the bill. And that is your e-ticket, ironically. Ironically, a push by the president for climate is what gets you a stimulus check. Let me explain. Because the president wants to go to the mat to keep climate in there, that causes the bill and requires the bill to go by reconciliation process. And by reconciliation process, you get those forced stimulus checks in there, that MSC, because that is the only process to get those forced stimulus checks in there, is that reconciliation process. If the president was to do this by bipartisanship, well, the Republicans have already said, we're not giving you a stimulus check. So away we go. The issues at hand is to get this done as quickly as possible. For every month you're missing a stimulus check, it costs you a stimulus check. Moreover, what's important is that there's economic rebounding across the board, and you don't want the economy to rebound before you get that stimulus check. And finally, you don't want jobs to be restored before you get that stimulus check as well. Who would get that stimulus check? You. $75,000 or less. Households, 4 or less. So that would include children, adult dependents. This would include you. And if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans, this would include you as well. This is how it works. And this is why you have to absolutely get behind them. You have to get behind them. You saw throughout the week in which the president introduced a series of his cabinet members, whether it's transportation, or whether it is energy, or HUD, or what does she do? Commerce. Or this guy from Boston with the big accent, or this guy, transportation. Their message was, we want the forced stimulus package. Now, they don't talk about climate, but they want the forced stimulus package. And the president wants the forced stimulus package. He had a Council of Economic Advisors meeting on Friday, and guess what? He talked about the stimulus package. At the very end, he drops the word climate for just a heartbeat. It's almost you have to breathe and listen deeply to even hear the word, but he drops it.
The average rapist rapes about 6 times. And so out there, we want to make sure we go through this backlog and find out, to bring some certitude for the woman saying, no, it was true. That's the man. He did it. And it changes the whole perspective. News that are personal to millions of Americans in the area of VAWA, because I get that asked and we get spoken to by everyone from mayors and governors, local officials of both parties. So I look forward to working with Congress to advance these and other priorities. I think we're going to be able to get, I'm hoping that we'll have some bipartisan support across the board. I've already spoken to some of my Republican colleagues about dealing with the infrastructure legislation we have up there, as well as other budget items. So we're going to work on, see if we get some bipartisan support across the board here, but that's what we're about to do now. We're going to talk about our economic priorities and we get the brief from the team here. Thank you all for coming.
And that is his message as of Friday. But here's what you need to know, is that he's not going to get the support. Someone in one of the comments said, it would be really nice to get $75,000 in stimulus. No, 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 no. The graphic says who qualifies for the forced stimulus if your individual income is $75,000 or less. You're not getting a check of $75,000. If you're a married couple and you make less than $150,000, you're getting a stimulus check. If you're a household of four or less, or you're on SSI or SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, this is what's going on. That is where we are. It's important to understand that getting this to a vote sooner than later is a big issue. And what you need to know is the routing times. I had someone send me a really great comment earlier today. They said, so how do these routing times work, and when would these be really an issue? And is there sort of a deadline when they got to get this done? Let me explain that deadline for you and also explain how quickly they would need to get this done. The time frame is really getting this done no later than July. Speaker Pelosi and Leader Schumer both want to get this done by July. Here's the issue. There's not one, not two, but three problems about the routing times. The four issues about the routing times. Number one, the month of July. They go on vacation from July to September. So you don't want to see this bill get anywhere close to the end or early part of July, because as soon as they go on vacation, they don't get anything done till September. You don't want this bill sitting around for a vote in September. That is not a good situation for 1,000 reasons. Number two, you want this bill to a vote as soon as possible, because it only takes one jaw-dropping, really good number to make every Democratic senator who's behind this get cold feet. What number could do that? The April jobs number. If the April jobs number, or at least at the end of April, is through the roof, this could be an issue. So you want this to get going as soon as possible. By the end of April, the bill would have already started reconciliation. We're good. Number three, you don't want the bill to sit around too long, because it takes 2 months to do a reconciliation. Even under the most rust situations, it takes 2 months to do a reconciliation. So as one viewer said, so we're in April, so May, June, they got to start this right now. They can't start it after May. They got to, if they start in May, it's June, July. Absolutely. That's very clear. It's very clear, and understand that. Speaker Pelosi understands that. Leader Schumer understands that. You need, however, as the purple power, to push the president to stay on point. Who should you be pushing, and who should you be reaching out to? You should be reaching out to the cabinet members and their staffers. You should be reaching out to your Democratic senators and your Democratic House members and say, hashtag MSC, hashtag purple power. But if you're speaking to the staffers on the phone, say, you know what, I agree with you. I like your message, but here's my thought. One, you need to get this bill done right away. You can't sit around because of the July recess of Congress. Second, you need to do this by reconciliation. You can't wait much longer. Third, the Republicans say they don't want to do climate. The president wants climate. So why belabor the point? You gave them the opportunity. They don't want to do it. And away we go. That's how we get it done. Let me jump into the live chat and see if you have any questions or comments across the board about different items. Someone was asking something about the student loan debt forgiveness. So the student loan debt forgiveness is absolutely an enormous issue. I'll be covering it later on Afternoons LA. I'll be bringing into the recording what's going on with student loan debt forgiveness, how it will work, what's going on with that EIDL, where that $10,000 is landing, how is it happening. That will be a recording later today. Also, I have 3 specials for you today. Coming up is a Javita Late special. And then then you have Evenings LA, of course, at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And again, at 10 and 10:30 tonight, you'll have a double dose of specials. Get ready for that fun, because that's going to be a lot across the board. Let me jump into the live chat and see any other questions you have as well. What about essential workers? That is among the items that they could still do during the reconciliation. Remember, anything that you think deserves to be pushed, push for it. Absolutely. Express your opinion and express it very loud to those Democrats, because there is a to-do list. There are things that they should be doing, and that is one of the items that they should be doing. So certainly make a to-do list, although I have a graphic for it here. I can't find it. Oh, here it is. Here's my graphic. Hazard pay. Yeah, their to-do list. MSC, FPUC retro, SSI reform, hazard pay, minimum wage. Make the push. This is the time to make the push across the board. I wish the fourth stimulus check would be June. Rain. It could be June. This time we saw that the White House was able to get some stimulus checks out within about 7 days after it became law. What about new businesses? Will there be a grant or loan? The president did not deliver a new business grant. Nisi, thank you for the comment. Why is it at $1,400? It's not confirmed at $1,400. The senators have not given us a price for the monthly rate, but word on the street is they're considering either $1,400 or $2,000 a month. FPUC retro, says Jenny, absolutely. Let me see some more of your questions and comments across the board. So if you're, someone said they're missing their $1,400, their third stimulus check. So if you're missing that third stimulus check, this is what you need to know. Watch the mail. Number two, the mail checks are very late. Number three, if you're a veteran, it's coming this Wednesday. And if you still don't see it, you're going to have to request it on that tax return. And wow, what a big noontime recording. Let me give you a big update if you're just joining me across the board. And I will be seeing you later on Afternoons LA with more details. First, multiple stimulus checks, yes. Senators and House members both want to give you multiple stimulus checks monthly. Their timeframes are different. Their calculations are different. They both can put it in there. Ultimately, the senators have the last say. So if the House members put it in there, the senators would amend it. They would have the last say to it. But of course, it goes back to the House for one last final vote. Number three, the president is going to likely do student loan debt forgiveness. And I'm going to cover that in the next recording on Afternoons LA. Additionally, EIDL grant is coming. That $10,000 grant is finally coming. What a big day. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. You know, it seems like every time I make a snafu that's technical, it helps... It helps bring people in. I don't know. Maybe I should mess up more often. No. So congratulations to that person who got the Porsche. And you know where the keys are because you heard me say where they were. And I will see you next on Afternoons LA coming up later. Stay informed, stay focused, and have a great afternoon, a great noontime, and stay with LA for more.